Every century, empires fall, civilizations crumble, languages disappear. But what about faith? For 2,000 years, Christianity has shaped the laws, the art, the wars, and the moral imagination of the Western world. And yet, right now, three of its most powerful branches are engaged in a quiet, historic struggle for survival. One of them is ancient, built on marble and centuries of tradition. One of them was born just 200 years ago and was called a cult by its critics. And one of them is growing faster than almost any religious movement on earth. The question is not whether Christianity is changing. The question is, which version of it survives the next 100 years, and which does not? Welcome back to the Caelustra, where history, faith, and the great questions of human civilization come together. On this channel, we explore the stories behind belief, not to argue, not to mock, and not to preach, but to understand. Today we examine three traditions: Roman Catholicism, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Evangelical Christianity. We will look at where each stands today and what the data is telling us about their futures. This is not a competition. This is a diagnosis. And some of what you are about to hear may genuinely surprise you. Let us begin with the oldest. The Roman Catholic Church is the largest single religious organization in the history of the human race. It claims approximately 1.3 billion followers worldwide. It has survived the fall of Rome, the Black Death, the Reformation, 2 world wars, and the rise of secularism. For centuries, to be Western was, in many ways, to be Catholic. And yet, something is shifting. In Ireland, once one of the most devoutly Catholic nations on earth, weekly mass attendance has fallen from over 90% in the 1970s to under 35% today. The clergy abuse scandals of the late 20th century accelerated a departure that was already underway. Trust, once broken at such a profound level, is extraordinarily difficult to rebuild. But here is where the story becomes genuinely complex. While Catholicism is retreating in Europe, it is exploding in the global South. In sub-Saharan Africa, the Catholic population has grown from roughly 2 million in 1900 to over 280 million today. Demographers now project that by 2050, the majority of the world's Catholics will live in Africa and Latin America. This raises a question Catholic leadership in Rome is actively wrestling with right now. Can a church built on European theology truly speak to the billions of believers who live an entirely different reality? Do you think an institution can survive by changing its center of gravity? Tell me in the comments. Now we turn to one of the most remarkable religious stories of the modern era. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was founded in 1830 in upstate New York by a young man named Joseph Smith. For most of the 19th century, mainstream America considered it deeply dangerous. Governments passed laws against it. Mobs drove its members from state to state. Its founder was killed by a violent crowd in 1844. And yet, the church survived. More than survived. From a few dozen followers in 1830, the LDS Church now claims approximately 17 million members worldwide. It operates one of the largest private welfare systems on earth. Its members are disproportionately represented in American business, government, and military leadership. Its missionary program sends tens of thousands of young volunteers around the globe every year. And here is the twist that most people do not expect. While the Mormon Church has faced challenges in the West, it is gaining members rapidly in West Africa, the Philippines, Brazil, and Latin America. In these regions, its emphasis on family structure, community belonging, and practical support resonates powerfully. Some scholars believe the LDS Church may actually emerge stronger by mid-century, simply because its fastest growth is occurring in places where secularism has not yet taken hold. The question is whether the institution can hold together its conservative core in the West, while embracing the cultural expressions of its growing Global South membership. Had you heard about this global growth pattern? Share this video if you found it insightful. And now we come to the most difficult tradition to analyze, because it is not a single tradition at all. Evangelicalism is not a church. It is not an institution. It has no pope, no president, no central governing body. It is at its core a movement, defined by three convictions: the absolute authority of Scripture, the necessity of a personal conversion experience, and the urgency of sharing that message with others. Globally, there are an estimated 600 to 700 million evangelical and Pentecostal Christians. This makes it arguably the fastest-growing religious movement in human history. In China, despite government restrictions, an estimated 60 to 100 million Protestant Christians practice their faith in unofficial house churches. In Nigeria, evangelical megachurches draw hundreds of thousands of worshipers every single Sunday. But in the United States, where modern evangelicalism was largely shaped, something different is happening. The percentage of young Americans who identify as evangelical has been declining steadily for over 2 decades. A 2023 Pew Research survey found that among Americans under 30, those who are religiously unaffiliated now outnumber those who identify as evangelical. But step outside the United States, and the story changes entirely. The evangelical church in the Global South is young, energetic, and expanding rapidly. Some scholars now suggest that the future leadership of global Christianity will not come from Dallas or London. It will come from Lagos, from Nairobi, from Sao Paulo, from Seoul, and that is a shift of almost historic significance. Did you know that more Christians now live in Africa than on any other continent? Leave your thoughts below. So, who survives the next 100 years? Roman Catholicism will almost certainly survive, but its center of gravity will shift away from Rome and toward the Global South. The Mormon Church stands at a genuine crossroads, but its institutional discipline and missionary infrastructure give it enormous resilience. Evangelical Christianity, as a global movement, is perhaps the most likely to grow in absolute numbers over the next century. But the deeper truth is this: religious traditions do not survive because they are comfortable. They survive because they answer questions that human beings cannot stop asking. Questions about meaning, about suffering, about what happens after we are gone. As long as those questions remain, and they always do, faith will find a way. Behind every number we discussed today, there are real human beings, real families, real moments of prayer, of doubt, and of faith. Whatever tradition you come from, the story of how human beings search for meaning is one of the most profound stories there is. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 3 traditions do you think is best positioned for the next century? And why? Leave your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this video gave you something to think about, please share it with someone who loves history or big questions. And if you have not yet subscribed to the Caelustra, this is your moment. Hit that subscribe button and join a community of curious people who believe that understanding the world is always worth the effort. Until next time, keep asking questions. The search for truth is never wasted.